Are you thinking of unlocking Ahriman and Tyrant Guard but wondering if it's worth it? Today we'll look at how long it takes to level them and the legendary events they're useful for. Hello everyone, a new character opened recently. Ahriman, the Architect of the Rubric, is the final character of the Thousand Suns faction, and as a legendary character, if you don't get him in a lucky requisition pool, you will need to grind 500 shards to get him. He is joined by another new addition, Tyrant Guard, the Guardian Organism, who is the second Tyranid character we've got. He is available to collect right now in the Synaptic Imperative event. Hopefully you rewatched my How to Get Epic 1 Neurothrope video and are using the same strategies to make sure you get him at Epic 1 level. As always, in my Is This Character Good series, I will leave the in-depth look into these new characters to our other amazing content creators and focus on specific aspects of their usefulness. We will rank them against other characters in terms of how long it takes to level them and their usefulness in legendary events. However, as suggested by one of my viewers, Roy Mackenzie DM1YX, I will talk a little bit about how useful I personally find each character specifically in legendary events. Look out for that section after the ranking of leveling. As always, you can find links to my sheets below. So let's start with looking at how long it takes to level Ahriman and Tyrant Guard when compared to other characters. Today we're looking at how long it takes to level from Stone 1 to Diamond 2. And yes, I have updated the ranking table and added in all Diamond 1 upgrades. Two interesting pieces of information with this. There's a hell of a lot of characters right now that need Blessed Promethium tanks, so you might want to start saving up those tanks of Promethium and Blessed Promethium canisters. I've added Diamond 1 to the sheets and I will release these to the public along with some other fun additions to the sheets next Wednesday, so definitely hit that subscribe button to find out more. For the sharp-eyed amongst yous, you may see some of the additions in today's video. Looking at Ahriman, he is a Thousand Suns character and follows the trend of being one of the easiest to level. For Tyrant Guard, he is also pretty easy to level. He is down just above Neurothrope, so there is definitely a trend from Snowprint to ease off on the difficulty of leveling these new characters we get. Ahriman takes around 31 days, compared with Certus, the most expensive, at 40 days, and Tyrant Guard takes 34 days to get from Stone 1 to Diamond 2. For those that prefer the graph, both of them are there on the right hand side. Ahriman in amongst the other Thousand Sun characters and Tyrant Guard just above Neurothrope. So now that we know how long it takes to level them, let's see how useful they are in the legendary events. Starting with Ahriman, we can see that they are a Chaos character and their useful traits are Flame, Psychic, Ranged, One Hit, Weaver of Fates, Flying, and a Psyker. So basically Ahriman is a mage archetype. And for me, mages without any ability to spawn anything are incredibly weak in legendary events. I think the developers agree with me because no other mage features in the top 15 characters in terms of overall points from the On-Shi and Shadow Sun events. Maybe Ahriman will change that trend, but let's see shortly. For the Tyrant Guard, it's a very different story. In terms of traits, they are a Xenos character who has Piercing, Physical, at least they do in one of their abilities and I hope it works for legendary events, Melee, 2 hits, Big Target, and the new trait, Crushing Strike. As survival is very important in legendary events, and they are very tanky character, I imagine they will be pretty useful, especially as they are the only Xenos tank we have so far. The only letdown I would say is that they have Big Target and are missing the Resilient or something similar to the Mark 10 Gravis armor traits that the Empire tanks have. This does mean he'll die a bit more quickly, but still, it's our first Xenos tank. They also have some rather rare traits. Piercing, Physical, and Big Target are not available on many other characters, and so we'll definitely see them fit into some teams rather easily. Now that we know who the characters are, let's take a look and see how they exactly fit into the legendary events. Starting with the On-Shi legendary event, we can see that Ahriman fits into 4 battles. In the Alpha track, they are in the No Physical and Max 2 Hits battles, and then in the Beta track, they are in the No Resilient and No Summons battles. This gives them a rather pitiful score of 195, which puts them in around 55th position out of all characters currently. However, for Tyrant Guard, it's a little bit of a different case. They fit into most battles here. In the Alpha track, it's Piercing, Max 2 Hits, and No Range battles. In the Beta track, it's the No Resilient, No Range, No Summons, and Physical battles. Finally, in the Gamma track, they are in the Physical, No Flying, No Overwatch, and No Power battles. This gives them an incredible score of 785, which makes them the best character in terms of points for the On-Shi battles. Now, as always, keep your eyes peeled for any mistakes here and let me know in the comments below. My regular viewers like Chaos Swarm are always helping me to keep this updated, and so don't be afraid to shout out if you think you see a mistake. Moving into the Shadow Sun event, and remember that the next event is coming soon on October the 15th, and you can watch my guide on how to plan for Shadow Sun in the links below. But let's see if either of these characters move the needle on that event. Ahriman is in the beta track in the no bolter, no piercing, and no summon battles, and then in the gamma track in the no piercing and ranged battles. This gives him an overall score of 270, but that still only puts him around 48th position. Tyrant Guard doesn't perform quite so well this time. In the alpha track they fight in the big target, no psychers and melee battles, and then in the beta track they fight in the no bolter and no summons battles. This gives him a score of 330 and puts him into 30th position. If we look at the best teams overall sheet, we can see that this puts Ahriman as one of the weakest characters, ranking around 59th place. So, like we were saying earlier, these mage characters are just not very useful for legendary events. But for Tyrant Guard, for the two events we have currently, they jump in at a clear first place, and that really does set them up to being an important character for legendary events moving forwards. Personally, I'm okay with the On-Shi and the Shadow Sun event, but I think I'll be keeping a really close eye to see how they fit into other legendary events. I'm also guessing that the next legendary event will be a new one, replacing our old Morgan Ra legendary event. I'm guessing it's a legendary character for the Space Wolves, but all of this is just guesswork, so let's see together in the future. I hope this was useful to you. If you have any questions or feedback for the video, then feel free to ask me below.